No secret, we are fans of women's soccer in Rochester, and we welcome any chance to get to talk to one of its stars. This morning, it's Julie Foudy. The soccer legend has a new book out designed to empower young women. Choose to Matter is the first book from a new ESPN imprint from Disney Publishing. I talked to Foudy, and as you'll see, before we started, she knew about Rochester's soccer connection.
Hi.
Hi, this is Alexis in Rochester, New York. How are you?
Hi, Alexis, home of Abby Wambach.
Yes, that's right. We love our Abby. We love our soccer, our women's soccer here, too. Thanks so much for joining us today to talk about your book and a very important matter, just the self-esteem and empowering young women. So your book, Choose to Matter, your guide to being courageously and fabulously you. That's quite a title. What is the book about?
It's all about being courageously and fabulously you, because when I was younger, I grew up thinking that leadership is someone in a position of power, a president, a politician, a man on a horse with a tall hat and a sword, and that I clearly was none of those things. And so it wasn't until I got around the U.S. team and I was surrounded by these amazing women who led in all these different ways, from Mia Hamm, who was quiet and shy, to an Abby Wambach from Rochester, who was gregarious and loud. And I figured out that, gosh, it's so much about what is authentic to you, what your style is, and the importance of knowing what your own leadership style is. So it's sharing those messages and passing that on earlier, because I wish I had known it earlier.
Yeah. Why did you decide to write this book and about this topic?
Because I found, and I've been doing leadership academies with young women, teenage girls and young women for over a decade, and I have found over the last decade that even the seemingly most confident young women, right, are hesitant to raise their hand, because we women, one of the things I love about us is we want to check every box, and we want to make sure we're prepared and we have the right skill set. And by the time we feel comfortable enough to raise our hand, the opportunity has passed us by. And so I want young women to know that you don't have to check every box, right? Just raise your hand and find friends around you that will get you out of your comfort zone if you're hesitant to do that, because you'll figure it out. The person next to you who's raising their hand before you doesn't know how to do it either. They're going to figure it out as well. And so anything to give you that little nudge to shimmy on out of that comfort zone is what I want them to take away.
That is so true. You never know how someone else next to you could be feeling. You look at someone on a huge platform and you think they've got it all together, right? And you know, they could be just as shy, or you know, dealing with something internally as well. I wanted to I wanted to ask you, because in your book you interview some pretty powerful women. Robin Roberts, is that right? And Mia Hamm, Alex Morgan, just to name a few. What kinds of stories, or what did they talk about? What did they share with you? And what did you learn from them?
I think when we look at celebrities, we think that they were just born perfect, right? That they have all these natural abilities. And the thing that you learn about them is they're raw and they're real and they're vulnerable, and they fell a million times before getting to where they are at. And they share those stories, or how they've been able to overcome obstacles in their life. I mean, Sheryl Sandberg just lost her husband recently with a sudden heart attack, and she shares that grief and how it just consumed her and rocked her to the core. And you think a woman of that stature and that power and that influence would be invincible to those feelings, and yet it's very real and it's very raw. And I think people need to see that. They need, and that's the important thing of them sharing it. Robin Roberts, the same thing, 2 battles with cancer, and how she was able to stay positive amongst that. And so I love that it humanizes them in a really authentic way.
Yeah, well, Julie, we can add your name to that list too. You're fearless, you're powerful, and you're certainly inspiring a lot of young girls.
Stop.
Well, this is good reminders for me as well. well as a female in this platform. So thank you so much for what you're doing. What's happening next? And if people want to, get the book or just kind of be a part of this movement, so to speak, what's next for you, and how can people get involved?
Right. Well, the thing that is interesting is that we did all the interviews as sock talk, so like feet up, shoes off, big crazy socks on, or if you're Robin Roberts, she had big slippers. And we're finding that people are starting like these sock talk clubs, which I love, where they're coming together with the book and sharing, their fears and vulnerabilities and how to support each other and help each other out. And so I love that. I was like, yes. So maybe we'll start a sock talk revolution with this Choose to Matter book. Who knows?
That'd be great.
World domination. That's what's next.
Well, you can do it. Well, thank you so much for your time, and best of luck to you.
Thanks, Alexis. I appreciate it.